Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bringing my AFC championship game preview between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Jets. Let's start with the road team. The Jets come to this game. One thing they have to look at offensively, the wide receivers have to recognize coverage. What the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to do is switch up a lot of their coverages, a lot of zone blitzing schemes. So the wide receivers have to make sure they recognize coverage, settle down in the voids, give Sanchez the open target to throw the football, and that way you can have some success in the passing game. So the wide receivers have to be able to recognize coverage. Also, the Jets have to look at offensively to win on first down. If you're able to win on first down against the Pittsburgh Steelers, your offense is already ahead of the game. It's going to give you second and short, third and manageable situations in which you should be able to convert against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's up to that offense to win on first down, force the issue with the run. Don't allow yourself to be in backed up situations. Defensively, going against the Pittsburgh Steelers, you have to control the point of attack. The Steelers can run the football with some effectiveness. Heath Miller's outstanding tight end that can also block, but you have to control the point of attack like you did against the Indianapolis Colts and like you did against the New England Patriots. Control the point of attack against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you have to keep Ben Roethlisberger under pressure. If you can get Roethlisberger on the move and get him under duress, that's going to be huge for your defense because you have outstanding corners that can make plays on the interceptions. And when Eric Smith is flowing to the side of the quarterback, he can make a lot of plays on the ball and on the wide receivers. So keep Big Ben under duress throughout this whole game. And the secondary can't allow themselves to guess. Roethlisberger will tear you guys apart if you're caught peeking in the backfield and if you're caught guessing out there. That's going to be huge. Now for the Pittsburgh Steelers coming to this matchup, you look at Mike Wallace. You have to keep Mike Wallace in the slot. Allow him to get a free release off the line of scrimmage. Don't allow him to line up on the split or on the flank. That's going to help you guys out a lot. That's going to keep that defense from the New York Jets from getting a beat on him, getting a bump on him, and slowing down his progress. That way he can use that speed to get down the field and possibly open things up for other wide receivers like Emmanuel Sanders and also Hines Ward. So put Mike Wallace in the slot should help the offense out tremendously. And you also look at Heath Miller. Get him involved in the game early. When you have a talented tight end against an aggressive 3-4 defense, the tight end play is going to be huge. Heath Miller is one of the most underrated tight ends in the NFL. Get him involved in the game early, and that's going to be key. And you also look at the fact that you can run off tackle against the Jets. If you guys can get that off tackle running going, that's going to neutralize their pressure, and it's going to also keep you guys ahead of the chains, and that way your offense won't be backed up. Now, defensively, what you look at against the New York Jets, one thing that's important to look at the matchup between Ike Taylor, former UL Lafayette Raging Cajun teammate of mine, against Braylon Edwards. Ike has to win that battle. He has to get physical. He's a physical corner, so he has to stay in Edwards' grill throughout this matchup, and that's going to be huge. Now, you also want to make the Jets one-dimensional. You guys did an outstanding job last matchup of taking away the running game. You have to do that again. You want to make Mark Sanchez beat you consistently with the pass, and that's going to be huge because if you guys can make these guys one-dimensional, that's going to be key. That's going to force you guys to allow yourself to blitz these guys tremendously. Now, you look at some positional matchups, starting with the quarterback position. You have to go with the Super Bowl winner, Ben Roethlisberger, a guy that's a mobile guy, big guy, tough to bring down. He gets the edge. He's been in this situation before many a times and come out victorious. Now, you look at the running game. I have to side with the New York Jets. Both guys, you got a Hall of Famer and a guy that's a budding star, and Sean Green. That's going to be huge. The running game edge goes to the New York Jets. Wide receivers, I have to go with the Jets again. Both guys come up big with some clutch plays in Santonio Holmes and also Edwards. But don't forget Cotchery, very, very underrated wide receiver. Offensive line play, you have to go with the New York Jets. They do an outstanding job of protecting Mark Sanchez and plowing teams in the running game, and that is going to be huge in this matchup. Defensive line, you look at the fact you have to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That front three does an outstanding job, led by Casey Hampton, controlling the line of scrimmage and allowing the linebackers free roam to the football. Now, speaking of the linebackers, you have to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. All guys, again, over 100 tackles, can get pressure on the quarterback, and they have the ability to drop back in coverage. Now, secondary, I have to give the edge to the New York Jets. Safety play has to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but cornerback play, you have to look at the Jets. Two outstanding guys in Cromartie and Revis goes without say, and they can lock down man-to-man anytime, any point in the game. Special teams, you have to go with the New York Jets. They have an outstanding coverage unit. Cromartie is an outstanding returner, and they are able to get field position for Sanchez in that offense. Look at the X factor starting with the Jets. That's going to have to be Mark Sanchez's passing rhythm. If he can get to a rhythm early, that's going to be huge for this Jets offense. Look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Roethlisberger on the move. He can break down contain. He can break down coverage. Once he gets on the move, it's a free range to the football. It's like backyard football. Roethlisberger can make plays down the field. His ability to run is going to be huge in this matchup. I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. Here's why. The Jets weren't able to convert on third down against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tough defense. They didn't run the football real well, but they were able to get a big kickoff return from Brad Smith. I don't think Brad Smith will play this game, but I think the Steelers will come in very aggressive on offense. They're going to make the Jets one-dimensional, and they're going to force Sanchez to win this ball game with his arm. And I think by getting a lot of pressure on Sanchez, they will get that extra stop to stop this offense, and they can run the football with Mendenhall, who had 100 yards last time they met, and Heath Miller will play a big role in this ball game. For more NFL previews, visit footballgameplan.com/NFL or visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan.